Hey guys, it's Shelby, otherwise known as Shelbizleee here on YouTube, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about a mistake I made. So I'm super sad to see this, and I like to think of myself as an educated person. I like to think of myself as not easily fooled, and definitely in the environmental realm, I like to think that I make the best decisions that I can. But I found out recently that that is not true. Now, greenwashing is something I can make an entire video on, and I probably will soon, but basically an overview of it is whenever a brand advertises themselves as being something that makes you think it's environmentally friendly, but in reality is not. And I have seen so many examples of this, and again, I can make an entire video about that soon. But today I want to talk about a mistake that I made, and it is this Meyer's dishwashing soap. I've been buying this soap for years, because I love it. This one specifically is part of their holiday line, and it's the Iowa Pine. I've had this for so long, obviously since I think January or February, because I got it on sale after the Christmas holiday season was over, because it was a Christmas scent. It's Iowa Pine, like I said. Yeah, and so the reason that I thought this was so good is because the thing that I typically look for when looking for something that is environmentally responsible is if it is safe for our waterways, because inevitably that's where all these things end up, back in our waterways. So usually for something to be safe for our waterways, I think of it as being biodegradable, right? Something that once it gets into our water system, it can be broken down naturally, and so then it's not going to have horrible impacts on aquatic life, on the things that consume that water and depend on it to live. And so since this soap was so conveniently at my grocery store, and because it says right here that it's biodegradable, I figured it wasn't toxic to aquatic life and things that depend on the water systems, things like that, to live, and I found out that I am wrong. So a website that I've been using a lot lately to determine if something I'm buying is environmentally good or bad or whatever is the Environmental Working Groups page, and they have a ton of research. They have almost every product I've ever looked up I've been able to find on this website, and they will link you to studies that have been done, and they will break it down for you ingredient by ingredient and tell you if it's safe for your health as well as the environment's health. And I just love this website so much. So I'll definitely be linking it in the description box below, and they are the ones who helped me find out that this is not the best option for me and my home, and I'm just going to read you some of the reasons why. So it has an overall C rating from the Environmental Working Groups page, which is not entirely horrible. I guess most people could live with that, but I like to think of myself as someone who is doing more than the average person, because I pride myself on this stuff, right? So definitely, don't get me wrong, this is definitely a better alternative than going to your grocery store. If you have this, buy this over Dawn. If you're going to buy something at your store and you can't decide between something like that and this, obviously this is going to be better than that. But let me read you the reasons why this is not the best. So the first ingredients that come up is fragrance, and I've noticed that with everything I look up that I think is environmentally friendly, and I look it up in the Environmental Working Groups page, and I find that their fragrance that they're using is not so environmentally safe. And that's so strange to me, because I feel like you could just use essential oils and then that problem is kind of solved, especially with something like pine. I mean, I have balsam essential oils, and it smells the same, essentially, no pun intended. So I feel like you could just incorporate that some way, but I guess they choose not to for whatever reason. So the concerns that come along with the fragrance are skin irritation, allergies, acute aquatic toxicity, which, like we discussed already, is my number one thing that I'm looking for it not to do, is be toxic to aquatic life. Nervous system effects, respiratory effects, and it says biodegradation is an issue, which would mean that the fragrance in here is not biodegradable, which is very confusing. If you look at the label of this bottle, it says it's biodegradable. And then disclosure concern, yeah, okay. So this is interesting. The next thing says methylsiloxazolinone. That's a word that if I saw, I would be like, the fuck is that, right? Like, I don't think that's something I would want in my stuff. And I'm looking at the ingredients list to see, like, make sure that's on here. Yeah. It's one of the last ones, but it's definitely on here, and it's a huge word. And then after that is benzisothiazolone, which I know that's not a good word. And can you believe that all this time I've been buying this product, I just saw that it was biodegradable, and I thought to myself, yep, perfect. And I never looked very more in depth to the ingredients list. So the concerns with that word, I'll put it here on the screen. The concerns with that word is, again, acute aquatic toxicity. That's the only thing that is not what I want to be doing. That's like the last thing I want to be doing, right? And then some other concerns are skin irritation, allergies, and things like that. And then it goes on to talk about some other ones that they don't have as much data on. That's another thing that I really appreciate about EWG, Environmental Working Group. They don't just make large claims without enough data to back it up. If they don't have the data to back it up, they will tell you. And if they do have the data to back it up, they will link you to it. So the next one is Polysorbate 20, and the concerns for this one is cancer. Specifically developmental, endocrine, and reproductive effects, damage to DNA, respiratory effects, nervous system effects, digestive system effects, and skin irritation / damage to vision if you get it in contact with your eyes. None of these things sound like they're environmentally safe for the environment, which I consider to be, aquatic life, and also for human health. And that's something else I meant to make the distinction in the beginning, but I will say it now. My concern is, obviously, I want to have things that are better for me, and I would never buy something that's like really bad for me but is good for the environment, and often those things don't go hand in hand. But my primary concern is how I'm affecting ecosystems. So that's what I take into consideration, and that's why aquatic toxicity really bothers me. So yeah, guys, this is just my most recent example of something I found out I'm doing not so great. I haven't found the alternative that I'll switch to yet. I'm definitely going to use this up. It's better to use up the things that you already have than to go throw it out and then buy more. So yeah, I'll definitely be looking into some other options super soon. But obviously things like this last me a long time. We're very conservative in the things that we use. We try to make them last as long as you can, because you have to remember the first thing you have to do is what, guys? Everyone say it. Reduce. Good job, guys. Good job. I knew you knew it. Anyway, so yeah, I'll definitely update you guys in the future when I buy a new dishwashing soap, what I'm going along with, but I just wanted to disclose that even I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm also learning a lot of the things along with you, and so never feel bad if you're not making the right choices, and if you didn't know you were making the wrong choices, you can always correct your actions. So I'll link the Environmental Working Group's website below so you can check it out, as well as this book I recently read called Slow Death by Rubber Duck. It talks a lot about toxicity and things that we would never even think of, so you guys can go check out that book if you want to read it. And that's it for me today, you guys. Remember, until next time, create the peace.